Now we're going to talk about wire, okay? There are different sizes of wire. There are 18-2, 16-2, 14-2, 12-2, and 10-2. Normally for LEDs, you don't need another size but the 12-2. The 12-2 will give you more safe way to install and more space to install the LEDs. The 12-2 probably is not going to help you when you trying to install something from the transformer to the last fixture 200 feet, okay? When you get to the 200 feet, that will be a red flag for you to call your garden light specialist and figure out if you can continue using the 12-2 or you need to jump to the 10-2, because like irrigation, like any other power, you need a thicker wire to make pressure to go to longer distance, okay? So let's say that we're using the 12-2, which is normally for LED the ones they're going to use. We have two types of wire. One is non-corrosive, which it looks like that, okay? When you cut the wire, you strip the wire, it looks like a copper. This is pure copper, okay? This unfortunately will corrode, okay? I don't care what people say. If you have a system for 5 years on the ground, even in Florida, I know the ground is almost, always kind of wet, but sometimes it's really dry. But the roots, the way the Florida ground moves, you don't know, and it can start cracking, especially this part. So even if it is a direct cut, it can crack and the water can start going inside the wire. What is the problem with this wire, the one that is non-corrosive? The water will start traveling through the wire, okay? So what that happens is it will eventually go to your connection, and if your connection is not waterproof connection, it can continue traveling all the way to the driver and the LED to the point that it will touch the LED. When that happens, the LED is gone. There's nothing you can do. You need to replace the fixture or the board that I'm talking about later. So how I'm going to avoid that when you have an installation? We recommend to use the non-corrosive wire. So as you see, the color of the wire is different, okay? It's still copper, but what happened, if I can explain this, very easy, every single thread, okay, it has like a plastic that what it does is wrap the whole threads of wire, okay, and it gas tied, so there is no water, air, or anything to go traveling. Even when you make the cut, since it's tied right next to the cut, the water, air, or anything will not travel through the wire. So now you're gonna have, a very safe way that if something happened with the system, even if it's a cut, even if it's just dry or something that the water is trying to go through, that will never happen. There are different kind of connectors in the market. Normally the ones they use is the typical wire nut connector with silicone. There are another ones they call dry connector, and those ones they don't have silicone. I don't recommend those ones at all. So, and the problem with the silicone is that sometimes when you twist the wire, when you cut the wire, okay, you have the threads and everything. So when you put it together and you put the silicone connector and you twist it, the silicone gets between the thread of the wire, okay? So you don't have a true connection. The copper is not touching copper. There is a silicone in the middle, and that will affect the LED in a long term because it's not a true connection. What happened with the drum connector is when you have the threads, you're gonna have a copper sleeve that it will fit between these two, and you're gonna use a crimping tool and you're gonna crimp the whole thing and it will attach all together. So now you're gonna have the copper wire with the copper sleeve together. Now you have a true connection. Now all copper is touching. All the power is coming through the wire, is passing to the fixture, okay? So it comes in a cap like this, okay? So they have 3 holes. 2 of the holes obviously is coming from the wire, coming from the transformer. The other one is you need 2 per fixture. So the other one from the fixture is split in 2, so you have 3 because you need to continue to the next fixture. So when you have the 3 wires and you crimp this sleeve, it comes with a cap. This cap is full of silicone, just to make sure. Okay, so you pull this all the way up, you grab the cap, and you slide it in until you hear the click. When you hear the click, there is no way you can open this, okay? You need to have a pliers or something in order to open it. The other good point about this one is crimped like this. With the wire nut connection, you can grab the wire and pull it. Okay, I can grab this one right now and trying to yank, and it's not gonna come out ever. So even with the roots or anything that is growing in the ground, you're gonna make sure that for some reason the roots go there, and trying to pull the wire is gonna be really, really hard to do it. I need to put a lot of strength to open this. So you have 2 benefits. One is a waterproof, and the second one is a true connection. The third one is resistant. So I recommend to use the drum connectors, not any other.